You put your money in a savings account earning 4%. Your bank lends it back out at 8 to 10%. They keep the spread. You keep nothing. Most people spend their entire lives on the wrong side of the interest equation. I'm going to show you how to literally flip that script. My name is Clay Hepler. I built a $25 million revenue land business by shifting from being a land flipper and developer to becoming a bank and a land developer. By offering owner financing on our land, we unlock 4 times more buyers and speed up sales dramatically. We structure deals with 10% down and 12 to 14.5% interest, creating a compounding wealth engine with zero maintenance. Now in this video, I'm gonna break down the exact structure, the math, and the real deal we are executing right now that will generate over $786,000 in gross profit over the next 15 years from a single 260-acre parcel. And I'm gonna show you a concept that I call note arbitrage, where you borrow at $1,500 a month and lend at over $6,000 a month on the same piece of dirt. But first, let me show you why you've been on the wrong side of the equation your entire life. So a savings account at a bank, your local bank, will pay you, do a little money bag here, it will pay you about 4%, right? And so a bank will lend this money out for a little car, the world's worth drawer, or a house at 8% to 10%, right? So your bank is making 100 to 200, 150% markup, so 4% to 8%, 100 to 150% markup on your capital. They are capturing what is called the spread. And this is why banks are the oldest institutions in the world. So what the interesting thing is, banks rarely lend on vacant land, and a lot of buyers, depending on how rural you go, with our model we're pretty rural, they cannot get a traditional loan. They have the cash, a lot of times they're like tradespeople, but they can't actually get the cash. So what we do is we build our own bank. And so we have the Bank of Clay, right? That's my name, so I'll call it the Bank of Clay. And so what we can do is on the buy side, we can get a deal where we buy a parcel of land, seller finance, right? So we buy it for a certain percentage down, and then we sell it on the back end for a certain percentage down as well. I'm going to show you the numbers on this in a second. So this is the percentage down. Let's say we put, I'll give you an example of the deal that we're currently doing. $350,000, $25,000 down, $1,250 a month in interest, 0% interest, right? So pretty insane deal, right? We're doing 25% down, we're doing 0% interest, we're literally getting free money here, we're just paying the equity, right? And so what we're doing is we're creating liquidity by buying it and then ending up selling it. We're actually becoming a bank. And this is not some like insurance scheme, becoming your own bank, insurance, whole life thing. This is literally arbitrage, and this is what banks have been doing for generations. So you're creating equity and cash flow out of thin air through owner financing, buying it with owner financing and then selling it with owner financing. So not only is this great because you unlock a new buyer pool that can afford monthly payments, they just can't get bank financing, but you 4x, we see our buyer pool. So we increase liquidity and velocity, which if you've been watching my videos for any period of time, you know that that is incredibly important. What we do usually on the back end is we'll offer 10% to 15% down and at 12% to 14.5% interest. How do we come to this number? So banks, depending, rural banks, they might be at 9%, maybe to 10%. And we're taking additional risk because we're literally extending credit to people that couldn't normally get credit. We do run a background check, which I can talk about in a different video. What we're doing here is we're selling this. So what we'll do is, in this case, I'm going to show you how we did it with this deal, but we create a down payment so we can pay back our initial down payment and get liquidity cash flow within 3 to 6 months. And then we'll have an arbitrage, which is a pretty crazy arbitrage on top of what we're paying the seller that we're purchasing the property from. And in the case that we want to sell the note, we can sell it on the secondary market, so we can get liquidity. So theoretically, I could buy seller financing, sell it seller financing, and sell the notes on the back end that I originate, the 12% to 14.5% interest, to a mortgage buyer, and create liquidity so I could pay the seller off and get liquidity really quickly. Obviously, it's more fun whenever you get the cash flow from this, better tax treatment over time. It's an absolute game changer to your land investment business and a really good tool in 2026. So before I show you the deal that I'm talking about here, I want to teach you how we think about each deal internally, because this is not a standard flip. And the structure needs to reflect the actual work that we put in, right? So if we are going to do this, so people a lot of times will bring us deals. So if someone brings us a deal, right, they'll bring us a deal and say, hey Clay, this deal doesn't pencil, right? So we have different layers. So we have deal origination, right? We have layer 2, which is deal structuring. We have layer 3. Layer 4. Deal structuring is negotiation, it's closing, it's locking in the creative structure, it's turning it into a great deal. We have capital and risk, right? And someone, for example, whether it's us as the funder or someone else as an investor, there's a risk on every single deal. What happens if the lots don't sell? What happens if the market shifts? What happens if buyers default? The risk has to sit on someone's balance sheet, and that's obviously incredibly important. And we have the execution of the deal and the operations, right? So you might be asking yourself or thinking to yourself at this point, like when I show you this deal, you're gonna be like, this is an insane deal. But when we assess a deal like this, we're thinking about a lot of different things. What's the amount that we have to come to closing for origination? I'm not gonna put 50% down, that's insane. What's the point of seller financing at that level? The deal structuring, how complex is this? How quickly can I get my cash back? The capital and risk, how much money do I have to put up? What's the risk? Is this a area that has a high sell-through rate? Is there a risk in the deal, or is there anything like we normally would look, utilities, access, all those things? We consider those things in that very way. And then the execution and the operations, right? So if someone brings us a deal, or a deal like this comes across our desk internally, we're sourcing it, we're offering wherever, these are the 4 layers that we use to actually think through how to go after a seller financing deal. Because there's a ton of risk and there's a ton of backside stuff that we have to be aware of. Because once we get this deal under contract, great, we got the deal under contract. Now we have to sell it, and then we have to manage the notes in the back end. Whether we're deciding that we want to actually take this deal on, or someone brings us a deal and they're like, hey, I'm going to bring you the deal origination, right? But I want you guys to structure it. I want you to bring the capital. I want you to execute it. Obviously, we're taking a tremendous amount of risk, so it has to be a really good deal. So unlike a normal flip deal where you're like, hey, dude, I'm 40 to 50, 60% of market value. When it comes to a seller financing deal, we take a lot of different stuff into consideration, because theoretically, we could pay above market value and we could sell slightly above that, right? Like a little bit above that if we subdivide, because 99% of the time, actually all the time, we're subdividing these parcels. We're developing them and then selling them. But theoretically, you could buy it and sell it for just a little bit more and then make that arbitrage the really huge arbitrage just through the interest rates. So deal origination, structure, capital, and risk, this is how we assess it, right? Which we can go through this in another video. You can comment down below if you're interested in me actually diving a little bit deeper into this. But at this point, this is kind of how we think about it. So if someone brings us to the deal or we're evaluating internally, this is how we know, should we offer seller fi, and how deep should we go? So if you want the exact promissory note template and the amortization calculator we use to structure these deals, you can click the link down below and download it completely for free. It's pinned in the resources down below. We're going to go through a deal right now that is 260 acres that came across our desk. Actually, someone brought it to us and we wanted to buy it. It was not the greatest deal, but we thought that we could make it work. So we're buying it for $350. You got $25K down, $1,500. So we're buying it for $350. We have $25K down. It's $1,500 a month in interest. Then we're going to subdivide this 260 acres. Let's just say it's like this. So what we'll do is we'll take this. It's got road frontage here. We're going to cut this thing up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 individual parcels, and then we'll offer these at 10% down. 10% down for all these. So we'll offer these all 10% down, right? So we'll subdivide it. We'll offer 12% interest for these. They'll all be 12% interest, because in this county in particular, we don't think that there will be a massive buyer pool for these types of properties, even though it moves pretty quickly. And we'll collect from the buyers what we believe at the market rate, 16,1681 per month in interest, right? Plus the 10% down. So what do we have here? We're at $1,500 in principal, and we're at 1681. So our arbitrage here is 468 a month in pure spread, which is equal to $786,000 in gross profit over the lifetime of the note, right? And most importantly, with the 10% down on all these, we'll be able to take 5 figures of profit out of the deal within about 6 months, get all of our basis out, all the amount that we put in, and we'll be just pure spread of almost $5,000 a month on a parcel land in the middle of nowhere, Washington. So it should be a really good deal for us. There's a couple more moving parts to make sure that we're all executed, but this is what it looks like. One other thing, when we're doing notes, here's a little bonus. I like to give a little Easter egg bonus for those of you that are still listening. We have $50 per month in admin fees. Let's go up to 100. What does this do? This pays for a full-time collections bookkeeping VA, if you want to have that, depending on how many notes you have outstanding. You might be thinking to yourself, okay, so what are the actual numbers on it? So these are all 32.5 acres. We're going to sell them at about $2,200 per acre. So that means about $71,500 per lot. Buyers are at $7,150 DP. We would finance this over a period of 15 years. So principal and interest from each buyer is 72, not super crazy. So at full ramp, like I was talking about, we would be at $6,178 per month in interest. Pretty great. And we pay that $1,500 per month to the seller. Just from this single A parcel, we get this, we pay off this loan and get to take home some money to the bank. We pay off this. Obviously, we get 8 lots at $71.50, 8 times 7. We're at a pretty good rate, right? So we come out at about 56 minus fees, etc. We might be able to net somewhere in the neighborhood of 20. Plus, we got this arbitrage that we're able to absolutely crush, and we're able to pay for the principal for the first 6 months just by selling these lots with a 10% down payment. We could always increase the down payment. We can always increase the interest rate of the 12%, but in this market, we feel like that's pretty fair. So this is what we call note arbitrage, right? And this is how we roll. This is our system, and it's how you offer above market rates for your properties. You sell them at above market fair rates, and then you create cash flow out of thin air, effectively adding almost $5,000 per month that the sellers can't go on, they can't build on until they pay off the loan. So there's a huge safety net there. So you might be thinking, Clay, if this is so great, why doesn't everyone do it? Well, first of all, it's kind of hard to execute on the front end if you're not an expert at negotiation and sales. And then it requires a bit of operational excellence on the back end. If any buyer defaults, you keep every payment that they've already made, including the down payment, and you take the land back and you sell it again. You literally get paid twice on the same parcel. The land is your collateral. It does not depreciate, it does not break. You are always in the safest position. Make sure that if you do this, that you're incredibly protected. You get an attorney to write out the note paperwork, so you're incredibly protected. Let's think about this. We got cash flow from this. Like, how does this compare to when I was in apartments, right? You clear maybe $100 per door, maybe $50 per month after all the headaches. You got tenants, you got toilets, you got termites, you got 2 a.m. phone calls. With land notes, you collect $770.20 or more per note per month with zero maintenance, zero tenants, zero management, no roofs to leak, no plumbing to fix, no sewer lines to dig up, no evictions, no property management fees. This is what actual passive income looks like. So I want you to go and grab the free promissory note template and amortization calculator. The link is right down below. And if you want to see how we actually close these deals, close these sellers deals before the financing conversation even starts, I have a masterclass on our sales process in this video right here. I break down my exact 2-call close system my team uses to get multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit per month under contract every single month. I'll see you there.